You're still active military. Your job keeps you at your office all day. With all of that, you're still at the top 1% in real estate, right?
Yeah.
What advice would you give somebody who's wanting to be successful if they're like, look, I want to make it to that next level? What do I need to do?
What's up, man? Good seeing you, man.
Good to see you too, man. Good to see you too. I wanted to sit down and have a conversation with you today because I think it's really, really important that people kind of know your story and kind of how we got together.
Yeah.
Not only as friends, but kind of business partners and working together and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty ironic how it all came together, and then here you are, right?
Yeah, man.
So Art Martinez, EXP,
Yep.
right? And active military, still.
Yep.
And what's your rank or your title? What is it?
Yeah, man. So I'm a senior chief in the Navy.
Senior chief.
So still doing that. I've been doing running recruiting districts for a minute. So doing a lot of recruiting, sales, closing, coaching some great sailors out there. So I think it's all about speaking things into existence, right? You were a little background on us for people that don't know that is we came into this as I was your client, right? So moving from Portland, Oregon to Texas.
Yeah, you were referred to me by UWM.
Yeah.
You called into UWM and they said, hey, we've got the guy for you in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yeah, man. I told them, I was like, hey, I want someone. I want your top guy in Dallas, and who do I need to talk to? And they're like, yep. They connected me right away, and the rest is history, man. I think we talked about we had a pretty tight deadline being on active duty orders. I had to come over and take over the command here, and they told me you got 14 days to get up there, and we had to sell our house, so we dealt with the having a contingent offer in Dallas. We had a great agent out there. Here I didn't know the market or anything, so in fact I wasn't even licensed yet, right? I think
you weren't licensed at all.
The whole idea came about from talking to you on the phone, and I was like, man, this guy does that agent does that, I can do it,
Well, you were pretty
So,
unsatisfied, actually, what it was. I remember.
Yeah.
I mean, not the fact, on top of all of that, dude, you're a great client, but man, you beat me up. I mean, you shopped me with other lenders, and you'd call me and be like, they're there, here's you, what's going on?
Yeah, man. I was a nightmare client.
No, you were great, but you were all about making sure that you were getting the best deal for you and your family.
Yeah.
And along that way, I remember you being very frustrated with the process of the real estate process.
Yeah.
And you voiced your opinion multiple times. I remember you saying, Eddie, I can do a better job at this than these people. I can do a better job now.
Yeah.
I don't even have to have a license, and I can do a better job now than some of these agents, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember closing. You guys moved into the house. And then, I don't know what it was, maybe 2 months later or something, you called me up.
Yeah.
And you go, hey, man, just want to let you know I'm licensed.
Yeah.
Got my license.
Yeah, I think, so I actually started the process of getting my license on the way to Texas.
Okay.
So, I took all the courses. The wife was driving. So that was the deal. Like, hey, you drive and I'll take the scores. And when we get there, I'll be able to take care of the next transaction if we ever need to. Because, being military, man, we got to move every, 1 to 3 years, depending on the situation. So that was a lot of moves. And just like you said, man, it's just, having that agent that goes above and beyond, that really understands the dynamic. And that's how the whole idea of military came about, right? So we opened up military with Mike Nelson, Garrett Howell, my business partners on that. And we just wanted to create an atmosphere for military to feel like someone not only cares, but understands the process, right?
Right. And this is a separate company.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, even though you say the word military, it has nothing to do with the military.
Nope, nothing.
Right. It's your company that you joined with Mike Nelson, and you guys are like giving back, right? You're giving back to the veterans. And all that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. It's really a network, right? So that's where everything came about, man. Like that was the bright idea of, hey, we just want to create a badass network where, someone that is moving from Virginia, someone that's coming from Japan, like they're not here, man, right? Like they can't go look at the home. And that was the biggest issue I had when I was told, hey, you have a couple of weeks to get there. I didn't know what am I going to do, man? My house still has to sell. We were dealing with some issues back in Oregon with the house. So that was getting delayed. And I went through a couple of agents prior to finding the right one right here that finally stepped up, went above and beyond to get the deal done. But that was challenging, man. So it was a lot of like learning during that process that made me open my eyes and go like, well, what if we create something that, any agent that comes to us, to our network, can give that exact same level of service, like going above and beyond. We're going to connect you with a lender that not only cares, but is, going to do everything they need to do to make it right. And you've done that for plenty of my clients that were, prior military veterans utilizing their VA loans. No one's been able to beat the service and even the rates, right? Like, there are a lot of lenders that I've dealt with in my time in real estate now, and my agents that they have the clients and the lenders go out there and give them a fee sheet, and that fee sheet says a better rate. They don't look at the cost associated with that, right? So like they hide a lot of the stuff that needs to be disclosed to people. So that's what I love about working with with you and Leah, that you guys are straightforward. Hey, this is what we're going to do. They're like, well, you're not getting me the best deal. This one's getting me a better deal. But really, when you compare the money, like it just makes sense, right? You're disclosing everything right. You're not putting $100 on your insurance quote when as a lender that's been doing this for 30, that's going to be 300. So anyone can make the numbers look better, but can they be honest, right? And I think that was the slogan for a Lone Star, right? Home mortgage was like, you can trust, like we got your back, right? So just like we say in the military, we got your six. I've experienced nothing but that. So, super excited to be doing this now, man. I mean, we started this not long ago, not even 2 years now. And I think we're 1% in top 1% in Ellis County. We've just been, killing it.
Oh, dude, you are killing it. I mean, that's one of the things that I'm so impressed with, because, and to let everybody know, is you're still active military, still active military.
Yeah.
Your job keeps you at your office for the most part all day.
All day,
the normal work day, normal business. And with all of that, you're still at the top 1% in real estate, right?
Yeah.
So you're showing properties when you get off from 6 to whenever. You're showing properties all weekend.
Yeah.
You're doing all of those things. You're heavily invested, though. I mean, let's not make any mistake. I mean, your brain, I've gotten to know you quite well over the last, couple of years, and your brain works differently, right? You're aggressive. You're a risk taker. You're not afraid of the risk. You know that it takes money to make money, so you're not afraid to invest that money. Mm-hmm. But the one biggest thing that I've seen about you over and over and over again is that you don't talk, you take action, right? And a perfect example of this is just a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
We were all having dinner, having some drinks, few drinks, maybe more than a few drinks, right? The night comes to an end. We all go our separate ways. And I know myself, I got home because it was a ways away. I got home about 1:30 in the morning, right? So, and next thing you know, I'm going through text with you at like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and you hadn't even been to bed. Every single thing that we had talked about over dinner, you went home and put into execution.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, you gotta make the time count, right? And I don't have much of that right now. So it's all about leveraging, man. So that was the time as well that my VAs are up, right? And their time is the Philippines, right? So during the day there, and we knocked a bunch of things out. We edited some videos. We put everything into action to, go with a separate business, which is the leverage hub business that we have going on. But yeah, man, I mean, I think a lot of people everyone has excuses, right? And we can sit here and say like, oh, I can't do that because of this. I can't do that because my kids have practice, or I can't do that right now because I have to go show 3 properties tomorrow. But there's an opportunity that's going to make you $1 million tomorrow, and you don't want to look bad with your, clients. So you're like, hey, I'm going to go take care of that instead. It's all about looking at the opportunity, taking action, and executing. Why can't you leverage, right? So, and you know me, I don't do any real estate business during my working hours with the military, so I have to leverage out. I have a whole team that takes care of everything, right? But I'm still present with my clients. Like they don't even notice that I'm not working throughout those hours. So it's just leveraging, man. We have some fantastic virtual assistants. We have, I think
Catherine. That's key, though. I mean, you've got when you first started becoming, you accelerated very quickly, right? And there was a couple things that I noticed about you early on that, and I'm here to tell you, not zero agents, and I work with dozens across the Metroplex, and I work with dozens that are in different agencies. For instance, I have a big relationship with Remax. You're with EXP. I'm developing a good relationship, a big relationship with EXP and your network with Leah and everybody else. But the one thing that you brought to the table is your ability to negotiate, right? And it's really been something special because I've closed several deals with you with builders that you walked in there, and however you do it, you just basically say you're giving them the same deal with my lender as you're giving with your lender, or we're going somewhere else. And you would think that most builders would be like, well, then go someplace else. But somehow you've been able to make that work. And we have closed several deals, VA deals, where they honored the same thing that they were doing with their owned mortgage company that they own personally, to give those same incentives to me, and you're able to do that. So that's one of the big things that I've seen with you. The other thing, to capitalize or to add to what you're saying, everybody does have an excuse, and those excuses sound best to the ones that are using them. Right?
100%.
They don't sound good to anything else. I was in a meeting a couple years ago, and that was the one thing that everybody went around the room and everybody was talking about their goals for next year and the things that they wanted to do and the money that they wanted to make. You know what I mean? And every single person had an excuse on time. On time. And just same thing. My kids, my marriage, my whatever it is, but they're closing one deal every 3 months. And it's supposed to be their full-time gig. And it was unbelievable to me to hear everybody talk about time. Right. And again, everybody's got the same 86,400 seconds in a day. How do you use yours versus how does somebody else use theirs?
100%.
Right? And I went around the table and I asked the person, I said, look, you wanted to make X amount of money next year. If you were going to hire somebody that wanted the money that you're making, that you want to make, but you're going to hire them and you're going to pay them that salary, but they told you, I'm only going to put in the same amount of effort that you put in making that money. Would you hire them or would you fire them? You know what I mean?
100%. I think it's like everyone, you mentioned about the whole deals with the builders, and I get that a lot, right? From my agents that work under our TXRE group. They go to the builders and they let them run the show, right? So you have plenty of agents out there throughout the Metroplex. I would say, venture out to say 99% of them, they go to the brand new construction builder and they hand over their client. Like, here you go. Why? It's an easy transaction. It's easy for the agent. Like, they're going to get paid no matter what. Whoever they use. But the reality of it is that they're not getting the best deal. And you know this because you've been in the business for a long time. But they're just playing with the numbers and making it sound great. Like, hey, we're going to give you 30, 40 grand and you're going to land at the same spot with an outside lender that's going to answer my phone calls at 10 o'clock at night. Like right now, we have a situation with a deal for tomorrow that we were able to make right in a matter of minutes instead of me going through multiple people just to get an answer somewhere else. So if you truly care about your clients, you have to go out there and fight for them, right? You can't, everyone's going to tell you no, but are you going to go out there and get that yes, right? Like, hey, you have to bring your value, man. You have value as an agent. If you're good and you're great at negotiating, you have to go to that builder and show them why there is value in them having a relationship with you, right? So most of the brand new construction builders I deal with, they already know. Like, we're not playing, if I call you, is this available? And I don't even have to ask them anymore. I just tell them, hey, they got their own lender and this is the offer that we're submitting. That's the way that it should be.
Because now they know that if you're on the phone, this is the way it's going to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not going to work the way you want it to work. It's going to work the way I want it to work.
And, everyone freaked out about this whole new thing of, what the commissions that we went through, right, as of August 17th of last year. It's been the exact same thing, man. Like, you negotiate. That is your job as a real estate agent. You are there to negotiate on behalf of your clients and get them the best outcome, right? So that is your job. Then why don't you go and do that, right? So those are the things, man. I mean, I got property. I told you the story about this South Lake, $2.5 million deal right now. And, it's just going above and beyond being there. Like, you need somebody to, rekey your house, to fix the issues, taking everything, that's what we do. We want to go above and beyond to take care of people so that you're creating a relationship rather than a transaction, right? Because the transaction's already there.
Yeah, and you're creating a lifelong client.
Exactly.
Somebody who, whenever they think of real estate, all they're going to do is think of you, right? And they're going to be an advocate for you over dinners with their friends, maybe their clients or whatever. And that's what my goal is to turn every one of my clients into an advocate for me. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole deal. And I mean, you mentioned, man, like, how do you get those things done? And I want to make sure that if someone is watching this that's in the real estate community, they understand, like, you're going to always be sold no matter what. Everything is a sale. Everything is a transaction, right? So, even coming here and talking to you today and doing this, everything is a sale. You're either going to get a yes or a no, right? How do you turn it into a yes? So I see this a lot. Like, I get multiple agents that come in and they just expect, like, deals to fall off the trees, right? Like, just shake the tree and deals are going to come out. You got to put in the work. You have to, get out there and talk to absolutely everybody, right? And you've seen that from anywhere we go. What do I do when we go to an event, right? Like, we get some merchandise, we hand it out, we open up relationships. We have that drink with somebody that, you don't know, that you didn't know whether they're an agent, a lender. Like, you communicate, because if you can't do something, you want to reach out to somebody else that can, right? You want to get that answer for your client. So you just got to get out there and grind, man.
Something else that I see you do, which everybody's terrified to do, right? And if you go to any sales training, if you go to any seminar that advocates for this stuff, the one thing that they're going to tell you through that process, you got to ask for the business, right? That 90% of all salesmen people out there, they don't even ask for the business, right? They think shaking their hand or whatever. I'm telling you, in every setting that I've been in a conference setting or a gathering of any kind, within 2 to 3 minutes of your introduction to them, you're asking them, who do they send their business to? How can you get their business? How can you get that relationship started so you get their business? What is it going to take for you to send me your business? You dive deep quick into asking for the business. And sometimes it's uncomfortable, and most of the time it puts them in an uncomfortable situation. But you know what it makes them do? It makes them answer.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. They have to answer. You ask them a question, they have to answer.
Yeah, and everything has a kill ratio, man. It's like what we talk about in military recruiting, sales, anything, right? There is always a kill ratio. If you talk to 5 people, you may get 2, right? So if my goal is to get 6 people, now I know I need to go talk to 15. Right. So if I need to shake 15 hands to get to my goal, that's what we do. We've done that. I've done that for years. I thought that, throughout every training that I do with my guys, it's always know your kill ratio, know how many people you need to talk to get that. And it's not necessarily that all you care about is business, but really when you go to these conferences, what are they there for? They want to be better, right?
Right.
Like I was listening to a podcast this morning, right? And it's, if you want to be the best pizza maker, you got to do what the 1% does, right? You have to cook pizza at home at your business and do everything. It's the exact same model. So, and you hear that every time we go out. You're absolutely right. I always ask people, right? Like, hey, and if I'm talking to them and they tell me, yeah, I don't do business with, so-and-so, what do I ask next? Hey, who in here in this room do you know that does that you can introduce me to? Do you mind doing that for me? Like, oh no, absolutely. And then what? You end up with a new relationship. So it's all about just, closed mouths don't get fed. And that's you just got to go out there and and ask for the business and see how you can support others. And I think that's the other part of it, right? Is there are a lot of people in this business that ask for the business, but they don't give anything. You have to be a giver in this business.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to get on those calls with them when they ask you, like, hey, I don't know how to do this. Do you mind, doing that? And we do that on the VA business as well, right? Anyone can refer you to a program, but can they support you and help you build what you have? There are a lot of people out there that it's almost like they don't want you to be great. Like, we want everyone to be great, because what got you here won't get you there. Right? And that's what a lot of people fail to realize, is you associated yourself with this group of people to get to where you're at now. Well, and it's not that you're a bad person or that you don't love those people. You're still going to take care of them, but you have to elevate to the next step. Who do I need to get in front of to get to where I want to be at? I've made $800,000 this year. That's cool. My new goal is 1.8. Is that same group of people in circle going to get me there?
They can't.
Probably not. Let me go to the next step, right? So you have to always be looking at, what is my next move, right? Like, where do we go? And I know even when we get around the table and we go have dinner, like, people make fun of that. Like, man, Art's crazy. He comes up with all this crazy ideas, but guess what? 99% of them work out, and now everybody wants to get on the idea. Right. Because it's not the idea that is crazy. It's the amount of work that it takes to get that idea to work. So as long as you're willing to get out there and execute it, right?
And that's the part, the key that I think most people are missing, is the execution. There's a lot of good ideas, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people that want this to happen, right? But number one, they just don't put it into action. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I think is key in your world is that you do leverage, and you leverage hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You leverage a lot of people. You've got multiple VAs, virtual assistants, right, that you have doing different tasks, mm-hmm. that are managing so many different things. And would you give, what advice, let me ask you this, what advice would you give somebody who's wanting to be successful in this industry or any industry? Mm-hmm. What advice would you give them if they're like, look, I want to make it to that next level, what do I need to do?
You need to leverage like 100% of the time. Like, you can't just leverage one day and then work the other 6, right? Like, you have to get out there and do what successful agents and lenders and whatever the businesses are doing, right? So you can't do it all. You're good at one thing, right? And it's the same thing, and we'll get into this after so we don't confuse people here, but I am great at sales and I am a great closer, but I am not good at video editing. I am not good at, can I set appointments? Absolutely. Am I great at it? Yes. But my return on investment from making calls for 5 hours, is that going to generate what I'm going to generate if I go sit down with 5 people instead? Definitely not, right? So I have to figure out, what is it that I'm good at? What am I able to give to somebody else to do for me? What am I willing to let go of, right? Maybe when you start, you're not willing to, let go of your financial stuff to an assistant. You're still, a little bit on the fence of, do I trust them? What security measures are out there? But, now I have, they have full autonomy. Like, my virtual assistants and my team, they can do everything for me now besides closing and talking to my clients about their deal. But you have to figure out, what I'm good at, what am I willing to let go of, make a list of the things that you're willing to let go of, and then figure out how much time you're spending on those things, and then reinvest that time, right? Again, this is like, I know you're great with numbers, right? You've been doing this business for so many years that you can't just make the money, do less work, and not reinvest that time. Right? So if you want to get ahead of the game, you have to utilize that time that you just freed up by giving that, those taskers to an assistant, an executive assistant, to your video editing team, to, get that time and reinvest it. Okay, so I just freed up 30 hours of my week, because let's face it, real estate agents, they spend 2-3 hours online on Facebook putting in that, look at this beautiful house that has nice roses and it's pink and it looks great. Cool. That's amazing. You could have had somebody else do that. And in that time, those 2 hours that you spent there, you could have been actually like creating, relationships, following up with previous clients, talking to lenders, talking to whoever it is that's going to actually something that is going to have an ROI for your business and your clients, right? So my biggest advice is leverage. Leverage any opportunity you get, right? And that's what a lot of people say. You just told me, right? Like you leverage a lot. I do. Also, other people leverage me as well, right? So we had a client that we onboarded the other day for the virtual assistant program, and guess what they did yesterday? Hey, Art, I don't know how to close this person. Can you get on the phone with them tomorrow? Tomorrow night, and have a meeting with them. Sure enough, right? Closed, good to go. So it's all about like recognizing what you're not good at. Find the person that is, and leverage that, and create business. And that's really it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Fantastic. Well, Art, I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for spending the time with me today. And it's always a pleasure, brother.
Always, man.
Yeah,
appreciate it, brother.
You bet.
All right.